Hey, John. So this is going to be our first match video that we're going to show our viewers. This is two, obviously, I was going to say top shooters, but everybody at V2 is a top shooter. So that's kind of the unique thing about this competition is you have to have enough points to get invited, and the only way to get
Yeah,
points is to go to matches that qualify for points and to shoot against ranked shooters. So I mean, everybody at this match is a top shooter. So
a-
both of
absolutely.
these guys, like I said, they've been around. Tim is a two-time mid-range national champion.
Uh-huh.
Ken Dickerman is on the U.S. rifle team. So both of these guys are pretty heavy hitters, and both of these guys are shooting 300 WSMs. So they're
Yeah,
shooting
it was
big.
a magnum face off for sure.
Correct. And this is the second round. I believe both of these guys are on the elimination round already. So whoever loses this match is out. But I
Yep.
mean, these guys are, they're going hard at it. So anyway, this
And this
is
was Saturday morning, if I remember right. So we
correct.
we we had already had the matches on Friday, and these guys faced each other early on Saturday morning. And I think it was a little bit foggy from the video, if I remember.
Correct. So I mean, for those of you or those out there that don't know who this is John, F Class John, and of course I'm Eric Cortina. So anyway, let's get into it. This was
All right.
a really good match. They're gonna shoot 15 shots each, and they have two siders at the beginning, and those siders are optional. You can take them, or you can take one, you can take both, or you can take none. When I say you can take one, is you can take your second cider. So you're going to see this at the beginning. They're going to have the option to take the ciders, and if they decide to take them, they can take one or two. But after that, it's every shot counts. They have a 45-second timer from the time they accept the shot until they shoot. If they take longer than 45 seconds, they will get a warning. If it happens again, they will lose the shot. So you can't fool around too much. The conditions were not too difficult, but if they are difficult, it doesn't matter. You have to shoot. So anything else you got to say, John, before we get started?
Well, I think something for people who aren't used to watching pair firing format like this, for those people, it seems really like an obvious decision to take your ciders, right? Because as you watch a lot of these matches, you're going to see there's different strategies from different shooters, and that's really important because when the conditions are worse, you might take your fives and your Vs. When the conditions are really just like a wind tunnel, you're going to see guys pass on some fives because they know it takes Vs to win this. So something to watch as we go through these videos is really, how is that strategy applied on different matches?
And another thing to point out, this is all 1,000 yards. So
Yeah.
it's it's 1,000 yards. The 10 ring, or I'm sorry, the 5 ring is 1 MOA. The V ring is half MOA. So
Yeah.
it's a small target that these guys are shooting at. So anyway, let's get into it. Tim just shot, and he hit a 5 for his first cider. So let's get into it.
And I think that back flag's pretty indicative of what was happening during the day. It was just a light cross.
Right, it's coming from the left, and Tim made a pretty good first shot there. Let's see what Dickerman's going to do. Well, see, Ken did not. It appears to me that Tim made a call to start. You know what I mean? And he
Yeah.
got it pretty good. He got it centered. It looks like Ken did not do that. Ken, what I'm just by looking at this, I'm assuming he held center, and which is another strategy, right? I mean, he's just going
Yeah.
to throw away his cider. Uh, Seems like they already have different strategies because it seemed like
Yeah.
Tim didn't want to waste the cider. He went straight for the middle, and Ken decided to just hold center, let the bullet drift, and then make his correction going forward. So already different strategies going on.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
There's Tim, second cider, so another 5.
Yeah.
I would assume that he's going to take these. I mean, being early in the game.
Yeah, early in the game, plus these are the 15 round stages, so you have a little more room. I will say it looked to me, unless you saw something different, I'm pretty sure on the opening matches through about the midway, once we were in the 15 round stages, everybody was taking fives and Vs. Really, that strategy changed dramatically when we get to the 10 round matches. But on 15, It's a pretty safe bet to take
Yeah,
any
well,
fiber B.
it's a long race.
Yeah,
So look at Ken right here. He's adjusting his windage because he
yeah,
came in, but he didn't come in all the way, right?
yeah,
And his two siders are gone. So next shot, he better get centered up. So he adjusted his scope side, his windage, but I didn't see him touch the elevation. And as you can tell, he's hanging a bit low. But and of course Tim, he found the center. He's drilling the center already. So
yeah. And
let's see
Tim's
what
got
Ken's
one
gonna
shot
do.
lead on him going into it. Tim,
Right,
because of that first shot where he actually dialed the wind in,
right.
it definitely made a difference.
And look at Ken. I mean, he got lucky, and he's now touching the elevation, but he barely caught that five there. So
Hmm.
he was kind of playing with fire there.
Yeah,
My strategy is always adjust your windage, adjust your elevation immediately.
yeah. Well,
So
and if you look, it's even just a comfortability. Like you can just tell in the body language. Tim looks very comfortable. Ken's hunting. I mean, like it's very
yeah,
fine. It's very minor, but Ken's hunting just a little more. You can tell that Tim's really in the zone right there. It's very fluid, very comfortable.
yeah. Tim for sure is on. Plus, I mean, he found a V ring right away, so that
Hmm.
that makes you comfortable.
Yeah,
Look at Tim. He kind of has his very fluid motion. Like he kind of does his whole prep thing.
yeah.
Of course, the
Something
shot
that,
didn't come. It didn't register on this shot, and
yeah.
Tim,
You
they're trying to figure out what to do. And of course, this was on Saturday morning. If you remember, after that, we came up with a solution to just reset the targets after every match,
Yeah.
and there was not a problem after that. But here, they're having a problem, and I think what Tim needs to do, he just needs to shoot again.
Yeah, and I think that's what they end up doing. Another thing that I'd point out for people watching who aren't, necessarily accustomed to the different ways that F class works is if you look at Tim, who's obviously on the right there, you'll notice that after his shot, he immediately goes to his spotting scope and he's
Right.
watching the conditions 100% of the time until it's his turn to shoot. Ken takes a
Right.
much different approach. Ken is not a spotting scope shooter. So
Right.
he's watching the reaction of the target, and then he's going to take a read through his rifle scope
Right.
at the time of his shot. So two very different approaches on how to read the
Yeah,
conditions.
absolutely. And look at the flags now. The flag up high is blowing a little more, and the one on
Yeah.
the bottom is starting to move. It's starting to push right.
And honestly, I think that middle flag has a little more value because what viewers can't see is from the back left to the front right, there was a cut coming in.
Right.
And so that was definitely indicative of a little extra power coming from the left.
Right. So Ken, he got centered up pretty well now. I think they both did. Tim was hanging a little low, and I saw him click the scope. So Tim is what I call a safety clicker, which I am as well. If I hang low, I immediately put at least a click in. And look at that. He's back in the V ring.
Yep.
Guys, remember that V ring is half MOA. It is 5 inches at 1,000 yards. And these guys, once they find it, of course, this is F open. And that's why they're using those rests and everything. Look at that. I mean, they found it. The conditions, like I said, they're pretty mild. That front flag is just pretty much dead. The second one is doing a little, but it's not enough to I think to really push you out of the 5 ring.
No. And there's 14 other flags that they're watching that we can't see on camera. So,
Right.
there's a lot, for people that haven't shot at a range like this, there's flags all up and down the left. These are flags that are a little more down the middle.
Right.
So there's a lot of different things that any one of these guys could be watching for condition changes.
Now, again, another thing that these guys are shooting is 300 WSM. So, I mean, that is a lot of power, and it takes quite a bit of wind to push you out of the 5 ring. So I think they find comfort in that as well.
Yeah. And what do you think they're pushing? So they're probably shooting 210s, 205, something like that.
I would say they're probably pushing 215s if I had to
Yeah.
guess. Look at Tim there. Tim just, another shot that didn't register. But notice Tim, he keeps messing with his bag. Let me go back so I can show you.
Yeah, you see it kind of wiggling and rocking on.
Yeah, and that's the problem with the 300 WSM. It's just not as easy to shoot as a 284. So
Yeah,
look at
not
that.
only
Look
that,
at the top flag before I go any further, and look at Ken. He kind of got pushed over to the right.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the 300 WSM, it makes it a bit difficult to drive. It's not the recoil hurting the shooter; it's just hurting the setup.
Yeah. And one of the things with Tim, if you noticed back when you rewound there a second ago, so Tim's one of these guys that uses a dryer sheet under his stock between the rear rest or the rear bag and his stock. And you'll see him, because of that WISM recoiling, that dryer sheet is constantly moving. So you'll see him periodically have to adjust that.
Yeah, it's but I mean, as long as you keep track of it. Look at that. I like what Tim does. Every time he closes his bolt, he rocks his gun back and forth and makes sure that it's tracking properly before he before he lets it go.
Yeah.
And he has a routine. He shoots, he ejects the round, he rechambers, he throws another one in the chamber. Of course, this one didn't register again. So he's gonna have to shoot again.
Yeah. Yeah,
but I mean, like I said,
we've been on Tim's.
Yeah, and that's just luck, right? Because it could have happened to anyone. But if you remember, after this, we had no issues with targets ever again. So
exactly.
But look at that. I mean, he's dead center. So
yeah.
That's look at that top flag. Look at the top flag, and look at the bottom one. It's also pushing. I hope Ken can see this. Yeah. That he saw it. I mean,
he saw it.
Again, these guys are just like everybody here. They know how to read the wind and see the flags. They're that bottom flag, I think, is really the one that dictates what's going on.
And something to keep in mind, again, if you're not used to shooting F-class, we typically count our holds in lines. So if we look at the line to the left, like the outside line of the V line, then the 5, then the 4, those are going to be lines. And these guys are moving anywhere from a center hold maybe to 2 or 3 lines left. And that's something we don't get to see here.
Right. And I have a suspicion that Ken is holding center and just kind of working inside the center lines, and that Tim is holding out farther out. That's, and that's just based on their original shots, their siders. Because Tim was in the right of way and Ken clicked his way to center. So they're using different strategies.
Yeah, for sure.
Either way, they both work. The wind was not, it's pretty mild. Look at Tim again. He's having to readjust that sheet and readjust his rifle.
Yeah.
Which, again, it's fine. But, if you were in a high stress situation, very switchy winds, that right there it can eat you up. Having to worry about your setup,
up, right? Every little thing adds up as you're doing.
Well, you're having to deal with your rifle rather than having to deal with reading the wind, and that's when you can miss something. But I mean, it's just one of those things that, like you said, they add up. But I mean, obviously Tim is a top shooter, and he's he knows how to deal with it. He's been shooting the 300 for a long time.
Yeah.
But I mean, they both. Shooting clean, they both seem to have found it pretty well.
Yeah, and Tim's got him on a slight V lead right now. But again, if you really look, that was jump started from those siders.
Right. Yeah. So Tim's ahead by two shots. So technically, they're tied.
Yeah.
So whoa, he barely caught that one.
Yeah. What do we call those, Eric?
Liner 10s or liner 5s.
Liner 5.
But see, again, is that a condition or is that Tim just having to deal with this setup all the time? You know what I mean?
Well, I would say with the winds crossing like that, I think you and I both saw a condition where closer in, and we can't see it in this picture here, but closer in, there was a crosswind that was bouncing off that tree line to the right that I think was pushing a little vertical, but I'm going to guess that was just either a setup on his part for that shot or just a round that was just a little off.
But let me go back and see if we can see the speed on that. It's 1768. The speed is really not off. It's 1760. Well, no, that's not the shot. Oh yeah, 1757. It's only 3 feet off. So
yeah.
I'm thinking, he keeps readjusting his setup. As you know, I mean, it's 1,000 yards away. It doesn't take much to push you up. Anyway, having said that, Tim is done. He shot clean with 9 Vs. That's a very stout score. What that means, out of his 15 shots, he landed every single one of them inside the 5 ring, with 9 of those inside the V ring. So that is
Ken's turn to catch up here.
Yeah, well, that's a very, very strong That's a very strong score right there. I mean, having said all that about his setup and all that, I mean that is a top level score right there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Let's see if it holds up.
yeah, let's see. Ken is going to be the only one shooting now.
Yeah.
He has 3 more to go, and I think right now they're counting the V's to see if he even has to shoot. So Ken says that he can still tie him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they're going to do. He's going to, like I said, Tim's done, so Ken's going to be the only one shooting now.
Yeah. So if Ken throws a 4, it's automatically done.
Right.
There it goes. There it goes. So 8 V's.
8 V's. All right. One more. He ties him.
He
still has 2 more shots.
He's still got 2 shots. Yeah. And you'll also notice at the end when it's in a situation like this, Ken's now in control of his own destiny. So
well, look at this. Look at this. Now that he's string shooting, he stacked those 2 shots right on top of the other.
And that's what I was going to say. They're in a situation where Ken gets to control his destiny with those last 3 shots, right? He doesn't have to wait those 45 seconds.
Exactly. And that's he gets to do that because he didn't take his siders, right? So that's also another strategy that could potentially save you. So right here, he's tied him on V's, and he has 1 shot to go. So all he has to do is shoot another V, and he wins.
He wins.
A 5, they tie, and a 4, well, obviously, he loses. All right, one more. Oh, 5. Look at the top flag. Look at the top flag up there.
Yeah.
So, all right. So they're tied. So now what happens? They have to do a shoot off. Of course, they're going to tally up.
They're tied yet.
They don't know yet. I don't think they do. All right. So here's the shoot off. And you want to explain how the shoot off works, John?
Yeah, so what we got here, they're tied, and this is literally moments later. So they counted up the score. They say, okay, we're tied on points, we're tied on V's. It now goes to a sudden death. So whoever shot first is going to shoot first, which would be Tim. Tim's going to take a shot. If he shoots a 5, then Ken has to shoot either a 5 or a V to stay in it or win. And whoever shoots the lowest score first is out. So Tim shoots a V, then Ken has to shoot a V to stay in. So it can get pretty heated. We saw some of these go 2, 3, 4 shots in. It was pretty stressful.
Yeah, and as long as they keep matching each other's score, they just keep going.
Yeah.
So yeah, it can. And look in the back. Look at the crowd that's gathering. This is the thing that most F-clad matches don't offer.
No.
There's a crowd back there. They're watching the match. They know these guys are in the shoot off, and the crowd just starts to gather.
Yeah. Right.
Which is very interesting because of the format.
Now we can't see the flags right now, but I can tell you that it's picking up a little bit.
Yeah.
I can see his Velcro strap moving just a little bit on his tripod there.
Exactly. And Tim's taking his time.
Yeah.
Look at that. He's looking at the flags.
And it's been probably 3 or 4 minutes since he took his last shot. So
yeah. Oh, he nailed the beat.
Nailed it. Yeah.
So I mean, that's just putting a lot of pressure on Ken now. Ken has to shoot a V to stay in it. Nothing else.
Anything less than a V, and Tim gets this round.
Right. Notice, sorry to stop the video right there, but notice Tim, he already has a round in the chamber. He didn't close the bolt, but he's got a round in there. He's got his eye on the spotting scope. I mean, Tim is ready to play. You know what I mean?
He's expecting Ken to shoot a V.
Exactly. He's expecting Ken to shoot a V. He's watching the conditions in case anything changes, because then I assume he's gonna do a pretty quick follow-up shot, because now that he found the V, he wants to make sure that he stays with it. Ken.
I think he's going to look to Ken's shot. Yeah, he's going to see if Ken hedges. If Ken shoots a V, Tim's going to be looking to see, was that V a little left, a little right, and he's going to take, like you said, a pretty quick follow up here.
Yeah, and in the meantime, he's watching the conditions and he's making assessments whether it's picking up, slowing down, or if it's staying the same, right? And
exactly.
So Tim is doing exactly what he needs to be doing. Tim is assuming that Ken is going to hit a V, and he's already preparing for the next shot. This is top level competitor right there. Kudos to Tim for being in the game. He's in the game for sure. Comes Ken, shots off. before it lands. I'm sorry to do this again, but look, this proves exactly what I was saying. I'm gonna go back couple of seconds where Ken breaks the shot. Breaks the shot. Look at Tim. Look at Tim. Boom. He closes the bolt.
Yeah, he's ready. He wants
He's
that
ready.
shot to come up.
He's just waiting for Ken's shot to come up, and he's gonna let his go. He is playing his own game. He is worried about himself and no one else. That is exactly how the game should be played. Again, kudos to Tim.
Right.
He's doing exactly what he needs to be doing. But anyway, let's let Ken shoot again. There he goes. And look, everybody in the background.
No. Oh man, it was right there too.
Yeah, it was. But again, that's all right. So this is the second round. I cut this one short because they pretty much stayed center the whole time, and Tim just forfeits. He said, "I'm not going to shoot the last one."
Up. Yeah. It was impossible for him to catch up.
Yeah. So anyway, he cleared his gun, and that was the end of that. So anyway, so they're tied 1-1, and this is the last one. You know what I mean? So real quick, the conditions pretty similar. I expect these guys to be fairly centered from the get-go. Conditions, it's clearing up slightly, but everything's pretty much the same.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if they don't both just drill a V off the start here.
Ken's a little high. Now, keep in mind, from the first match, I'm going to say about an hour has passed or so.
Yeah.
So it's been a while.
Yeah. So again, going back to the format, these guys have 90 minutes to shoot 3 matches. So as long as they agree, like after the first match, they could take 20 minutes to let their guns cool down, take a break. They could take half an hour if they agree on it. So as long as they shoot the 3 matches within the 90 minutes, that's all that's required. And I'll say, I saw pretty much everybody agreeing. If somebody said, "Hey, I need 10 minutes, I need 15 minutes, hey, I got to run back to my truck," whatever it is. These guys are all competitors. They all know each other, and nobody's out to try to game the system. So,
right.
That's pretty much how it worked.
Right. And these guys, I remember they had to actually wait extra because of their target. Remember they had that issue with the target. We had reset everything. So they took a little extra time. So it's been at least an hour since the first match that we just saw. Like I said, the second one went, pretty much Ken's way. Ken shot clean. Tim knew he couldn't catch him, so he just forfeited the second one. Saved rounds on the gun and all that. So now you don't have to forfeit. You can go ahead and shoot, even if you're not going to win. You can keep shooting and maybe try to figure out the wind or whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's all optional, right? But anyway, so Ken starts with a 5, and Tim's
did
about
you notice
to shoot.
The flags? We're starting to get a little bit of a headwind here too, which that could have accounted for a little bit of that push, because I did notice throughout the days, for whatever reason, if there was enough of a headwind, we were noticing a little bit of vertical. It would get those guys up in the top 5 there.
Well, a headwind would push you down.
I know, but for some reason at this range, more often than not, I was actually seeing a rise.
Yeah, unless it was hitting that berm back there.
Yeah,
but, But anyway, if you notice here, they're shooting on target 24. I believe it's 24. You can see the trace of that 300, which is fairly flat. Look at it here. Oh, it's target 23.
Yeah,
23. There's the trace. So, I mean, that 300 is fairly flat. There it goes. So, anyway, look at that. They stacked almost on top of each other. So, let's see what they're going to do. I assume Tim's going to click down. Nope, he's not clicking.
I think they're both going to hold just a little low. They're going to shade it just a bit.
Yeah, I don't like shading, but I know a lot of people do. All right, so Ken now hit a V for his second sighter. He has a 5 and a V, so obviously he's going to take those. There's no reason why he wouldn't, right? He won his second match on a clean, So he understands that being clean is worth a lot. So
Yeah.
I imagine he's going to take them both. Look at Tim. Look, Tim is still a little nervous. I don't know if nervous is the correct word, but he's being very cautious. Remember, he just lost the second one due to points.
Yeah, a little apprehensive.
Yeah, so he's really taking his time, which he should do. Look at him. He's not 100% sure. He wants to make a good call because he also doesn't want to lose his first sighter, right? He got a 5. Ken pushed a little right, which I don't think there's anything there. But Tim is kudos to Tim. He's playing the game like he's supposed to. He's giving every shot the proper respect. Is probably the way I should say it.
Yeah, and if anything, he might be trying to safe side this one just to keep the 2 siders alive.
He sure did. He safe sided it like you said. Yeah. He clipped the V, so they're both converting. So now we're already
off and running.
Off and running. So Tim's got 2 Vs. And Ken's got 1. So right off the bat, Ken's I'm not gonna say he's behind, but he's behind.
And that's the crazy thing about these matches. When you're at this level, it's you're not hoping somebody shoots a 4. You're just hoping somebody shoots a 5.
Exactly. Exactly. Look at that bottom flag. It's starting to push. And Tim caught it. Tim knows that. Yeah. So he's being a little cautious. Oh, look at that. I assume he didn't do much with it, and he just assumed it didn't mean much, and he almost got pushed out. So
yeah, he almost got burned on that one.
Yeah, let's see what Ken's going to do. Both of those flags are starting to push right. Look at that. They're both getting pushed.
Look, he got pushed too.
Yeah. So I assume he's just going to move in now, and he's going to believe it now. Yep, he's back in the center. It wasn't much, half MOA, but
no, but to fall out the backside like that, I mean, he definitely underestimated it.
Yeah, Ken's still not 100% sure that it was the wind, and he was very conservative on that move, and he's falling behind on the beat count.
Yeah.
Well, see, look at that flag now. Look at the flag.
Yeah, it fell off. Yeah,
it fell off, and I assume Tim just held his last hold, and he almost fell out the other side. So it doesn't take much.
No, and these guys, like you and I are used to it, but if you're not used to doing this, you're not only watching the power, you're watching the clock angles, and you miss something on either one of those, it can be detrimental.
Oh man, look at this bottom flag. It's starting to push at you now. So let's see what Ken's going to do. So let's recap right quick. Ken's last 2 shots have been out to the right, correct?
Yeah.
But the flags are pushing right. Now this flag on the bottom is pushing at us. The other one's still pushing right, but just very little. So if Ken was to compensate at this point left and doesn't catch the fact that he's back to his previous hold, he might push one left.
Yeah, he might fall out the left. Yeah.
So I mean, it's getting tricky, right? Of course, Tim just got pushed left, so he that should kind of keep him good if he catches that. Look at that, he's left, but he managed to keep it in there.
And at this point, I don't know. What do you think? I feel like Ken is almost behind the condition by a shot.
I feel like Ken is reacting. Yes. I feel the same way. I feel like Ken is reacting. Look, I mean, just their demeanor. Tim seems to be on the ball. Like he's very serious about the whole situation. Now, don't get me wrong. Ken's he's an excellent shooter, right? And, obviously, we're just trying to read into this video, but Ken seems to kind of be a shot behind, kind of like you said. And if the conditions were tougher, he may be having a harder time than Tim dealing with it. However, I do not know that for sure. That's just my assumption based on this video.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're guessing based on our knowledge here, and we don't know what's in their head 100%.
So look at those flags before that shot lands. The flags are pushing left again, or they're pushing from left to right. Yeah. Yep, Tim's on, man. Tim's on. Let's see what Ken's gonna do. They're pushing right, but it's not much.
No. But we're getting back to what I think is probably their base condition for both of them.
Look at this. This goes back to what we're saying about Ken being a shot behind. They weren't pushing much. It seems like Tim compensated. He got centered up, and Ken got pushed to the right. And see, now that flag on the bottom is back down again. It's see that? It's down and it went left.
Ooh.
So now it's pushing right, but it's not much. See, it's wanting that flag can make up its mind. It's pushing at us, but it's wanting to push right as well. So to me, if I was the one shooting, I'd probably wait and let that flag settle. You have 45 seconds, right? But I think
that's longer than you think to do.
Yeah, and I think at this point, Ken is just trying to. He's staying clean, so he's just gonna keep trucking, but that flag on the bottom worries me a bit. Oh, see, there it is. Look at that flag now.
And it's almost turned. I mean, it's almost coming from 1 o'clock now.
Look at the flag down. That's what I'm saying. Look at that. Look at it now. It's going the other way. And Ken got caught. And see, Tim always got pushed out. And I just don't think Ken. Either he didn't see it or he just didn't believe it. But look at the flags now. They turn around.
Or he saw it and he undervalued it just enough.
Yeah. I mean, let's see what Tim's going to do. Yeah, Tim. I think he compensated. Because he's over to the right, so he maybe gave it a little more than he needed to. But hey, he's clean, right?
Yeah.
So Ken
it's interesting. If you look at their demeanor, like you said, both of them look a little more tense in this match than in the first one.
Well, yeah, I mean, this one, the first one, you lose, you win, you're still in it. This one, you're out.
Yeah. And you can see it.
Yeah, and they both have beat each other once already. So they're one match each, and they know what it takes. So I'm thinking at this point, Ken is a little bit more tense, just because Tim doesn't show any signs of losing points.
Well, and Ken's down a point, right? So now, like the smart money here, if you're shooting, is to start safe siding your shots to keep a clean.
Right. Well, that's for Tim. What Ken needs to do, he needs to hit V's, because he's also behind on V count. So even if Tim hits a 4, he's still going to be ahead.
He's still down.
So Ken's in a bad situation here.
Yeah.
And see, look at the flags pushing right again. So they're getting. See, look at Tim. He clicked there. So I think Tim's he's playing the game properly. Let's see what Ken's going to do. See, Ken found it now. Again, never count out Ken. Ken is a top level competitor as well. So
and we still have, we still got about half the shots left, or about a third of the shots left here. So I mean,
and like
he's only down by 1 V, and
like I was saying as well, is Ken needs to not safe side anymore. He needs to go for those V's now. And maybe the earlier shot, maybe he was just safe siding, right? Hoping that Tim would drop a 4. But now that he dropped a 4, he's going to have to get more
aggressive.
Yeah. Look at Tim. Tim's trying to hang on to that lead. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he's trying to be more careful. He's taking his time.
Sometimes this can bite you too, right? Like sometimes you overanalyze it.
Well, yes, and the thing is, when somebody drops a 4, it affects both shooters.
Yeah.
Ken's the one to drop the 4, but it slowed Tim down. You see that? It's his mindset has totally changed. I think he's trying to hang on to the lead, and somehow I think a 4 is in his mind. Like, don't shoot a 4. Don't shoot a 4. You know how it is. Don't think about it.
The easiest way to shoot a 4.
Yeah,
tell yourself not to shoot a 4.
But I mean, he's look at him. He's undecided. See those flags? They're not any different.
No.
They're not any. I mean, he was plowing through this earlier, and now that round's been in the chamber for a while now, and he's really overthinking this. But again, that's part of the whoa, that's gonna add to the pressure,
man.
Okay, I don't know what happened here. Let me go back. I just don't think there was anything there in the sense of. Let's see what the speed was.
Yeah, what was the speed?
Okay, look, I just noticed something. Look at the standard deviation for both shooters. It's 11.3, and they're both shooting two different rifles. That's pretty impressive right there.
That is pretty impressive.
So Ken's shot was 1807. Let's see what Tim's shot is. Oh yeah, 1743. That's pretty slow. So I don't know what he did there, but
he had the win though.
Yeah. So now they're tied.
They're
on score.
Tim's up 1v.
He's still up 1v. So I think Ken's just saw the door open and he's just gonna hammer it out.
And this is really where the mental game comes in, right? Because Ken feels a little surge of victory, and Tim feels a little defeated.
Well, right, and now look at Ken. I mean, he hit his last two shots have been V's, right? Yeah. And Tim's last two shots has been 5, 4,
and 4.
So I feel the tide changing here. I don't know, but I think Ken is feeling pretty good about now. And Tim's
again, if we look at the body language, it totally switched. Like first match when I was telling you, Tim looked very relaxed and calm, and Ken looked a little edgy.
Right.
And it's definitely flip flop. Ken's very calm, very slow movements, nothing erratic, and you can see, Tim's doing a little bit more of this, right? A little more back and forth, scope back, scope back.
He's a little more undecisive now,
Yeah.
Tim is. So very interesting.
He's shooting from a defensive position, and that's never a great way to be.
Right. Whoa. All right. 1744 speed wise. Even Ken looking at him going, "What the heck did you just do?" That's just not like Tim to do this.
No.
So Ken's looking over at him going, what did you just do? You know what I mean? And of course, Tim's wondering the same thing, right? Look at him. And Ken asked him, is it registered 3? And, yep. Tim is lost at this point, man.
Yeah, that's...
I feel so bad.
It's so tough to come back. It's only 4 shots left, and to try to come back 3 points.
Let's see if Ken's going to stay in the game. I'm telling you, Ken is in, man. He just saw the door, and he's just going to plow through it. Ken has hit a different gear. You know what I mean?
And that's how fast this game can change, right?
It changed drastically because Ken, like I said, he was kind of shooting behind. He was about a shot behind. Once he hit that 4, it seemed to have changed. He changed the gear when he hit that 4. So
something Eric and I watching a lot of these matches while we're recording. Something when you're watching these matches, you can tell it by the head, right? Like Eric pointed this out early on. He goes, "Watch the heads. If you're seeing head shakes, that guy's in trouble." It's that undecided, if somebody's nice and calm, their head's not going to be moving. They're not going to be shaking it. They're not going to, it's a subconscious thing.
They're going to keep doing their same thing. All right. So if you're Tim, what are you doing here? Your last 2 shots were low. Obviously the first one was low. The second one, he didn't believe the first one. He put another one even lower. What do you do, John? What do you do here?
I hate saying it, but the worst thing that's going to happen is if he overcorrects, right? And he's either going to dial it or he's going to hold it.
But what do you do? I mean, okay, so you're Tim here. What do you do? You just had 2 low shots. What would you do? I know it's a very tough situation.
Me personally, because he's just shot 2.5 matches with perfect vertical, right? So where's the vertical? Is he into a bad batch of ammo? Does he grab one from 3 or 4 pieces down now? Does he hold the same line, or does he hedge a little high? Like you and I talk about.
That's quite high. That's quite high though. That's a lot. That's one MOA.
That's an invitation to a high 3.
That's one MOA. One thing I just noticed, he doesn't have the dryer sheet.
Nope, I was going to say that. Yeah, it definitely has moved. In fact, I think it fell in front of him there.
Let's see if he had it. Did he have it on this one, on this round?
No, it fell out like three shots ago.
I don't think he had it. Oh, it's right there by his ammo box.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get back
Maybe
to
he
it.
pulled it and didn't realize it wasn't in for this match.
I don't know, but see, like I said, Ken has hit a different gear, and Tim
Yeah.
is. So again, what do you do if you're Tim? So call it. What would you do?
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say you maybe hold a 5 ring high. Like if it was me and I trusted my ammo and just assumed, like, look, Ken's clearly not getting any kind of vertical, and I know Ken's not holding a minute high. So,
Right.
my gut says, if it was me, I'd probably go 3 or 4 pieces of ammo down just to get out of whatever that string of ammo was. I'd
Uh-huh.
hedge a little high and I would just take the shot because at this point, what do you have to lose?
Right. Well, Tim, he's pretty much out. Like I said, Ken just hit a different gear. He's been hitting
Yeah.
B's. Uh, so you know, of course, this is the low 3 again. Um, so yeah, Tim is definitely lost um, at this point, and I don't think there's a way out either way. Even if he was to shoot
Yeah.
clean the rest of the way, I just don't see Ken dropping 3 more points.
Ken's not going to give him a door at this point. Let's face it, Ken's been shooting a lot longer than Tim. He's probably been in this situation a few more times. And for the consummate professional that Tim is, Ken saw that 4, and then when he got matched on the 4, he said, "This is it. I'm running."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and I think, like you said, he just hammered down, and he wasn't going to give Tim a chance to get back ahead.
Look at what Tim's doing right here. See what he just did?
He just dialed.
He just dialed.
He's going to go off the top.
John, I can't say that I disagree with Tim right here. This is what I would do myself. To be honest,
But how
with
much?
you.
Half a minute? Half a minute?
I would go the full minute.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is he had a low shot, right? And then he didn't believe it. He just kind of your mentality or your train of thought. He followed it the first shot. He's like, you know what? This thing's been holding flat the whole time. I'm not gonna do anything different, right?
But man,
and he
a
did
minute.
it. I understand, but he followed it up with another shot a minute below. And I understand, but you know what I mean. Look, at this point, either you move up a minute and hit center, or you move up a minute and hit another 3. Either way, it's over.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's virtually no chance to go from 0 to hero on this one, but
yeah. But I mean, anyway, I would probably do what Tim just did. I would just click it and go. But
and it
yeah,
looked like he put probably at least half a minute in.
I don't know
like
how much he put. He turned it pretty good. I'm guessing he probably went the full minute. Let's see if I can go back. I mean, because he's a minute and a half. I mean, no, he turned it a full minute.
Yeah, that was more. That was a lot.
Yeah. Anyway, let's see what happens. I think either way he's out. So I would do exactly what Tim did. I don't know. Two shots. 1 shot is a flyer. 2 shots is a confirmation in my opinion. So I would move up.
Well, let's see what he does here.
He's still not. I think he got past the elevation issue in his head, and now he's really focusing on the wind, which is absolutely what he needs to do. He's once he clicked it, that's it. It was over, and
now let's work on the wind.
Yeah. Work on the wind. He's doing the right thing. Oh, 3 high. You were right, John. But again, it's what do you do, man? He was in such a bad situation. And of course, he forfeits. There is no way he can catch Ken. And of course, Ken is apologizing to him, as he should. I mean, that is something that I hate to see happen to shooters, right?
Yeah. It's a rough way to win, honestly.
Or lose. Yeah, it's just a rough way to end a match. They were both shooting so good, and this is why we spent
for Tim,
Yeah, he gets to go home after this, and this is why we spend so much time in the reloading room, right? To keep that from happening. But I mean, I know he's a great competitor. we spend hours on the phone talking, and he's always asking the right questions. So I know he has put a ton of work into it. Tim went into this tournament as the number one seed. So let's not
Yeah.
forget that. He is a top level competitor, and he has achieved that in a very short time. So again, Tim is a winner in my eyes, but just not in this tournament. The F-class gods just were not with him. But anyway, so he feels pretty devastated. All right. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna have to touch on this. This is something you just don't do. Tim just shot a 3 out the top. He just lost. He's out of the tournament. He's going home. He's still trying to gather his stuff, and somebody's coming over and asking him, "Hey, Tim, how much did you hold up, or did you dial up on the last shot?" And Tim can hear him. But Tim is just pretending he doesn't. He just doesn't want to deal with that right now. That's the last thing he wants to hear. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. I'm gonna spill the beans here. Back at Burger or Nationals, I forget which one. I had prepared so much, and then I got a horrendous target puller. I come off the line, and I'm telling kind of the story, because you know how it is. Someone's always asking you how to go, and I'm telling the story, and somebody said, "Well, you know, you must have neck sized, or you should have neck sized." And man, I feel, and you know the story, right? And that one has been eating at me for a while. But man, I looked at the guy. I tried to ignore it, just like Tim is doing right now. And the guy just I looked at him and I said, "You know what?" I said, "Oh yeah, good one. That's the first time I've heard that joke." And I know he felt terrible. And you know, after I kind of cooled off, I tried to, and you know what? To be honest with you, I didn't know who it was, but I felt so bad. And to this day, that's why I'm bringing it up. I feel really, really bad. But you know what I mean? So this is what I'm talking about. You know, Tim right here, he just, I mean, his whole day just came crashing down, at least in competition, right? And he's out, and he's not even done picking up his stuff. Somebody's already asking him, like, "Hey, where did you hold on that? Did you click up?" You know, the last thing he wants to do is talk about that. You know, so
yeah,
guys,
you know, like there's a big difference between walking up and being like, "Hey, man, you gave it your best," or you know, that's what you know. Like even if someone walked up, like not that it's ideal, but even if someone walked up and went, "Man, rough way to go out," you'd be like, "Yeah, it was." But to try to get something to help you on a match out of somebody who just lost, that's where
I don't think he was looking
kinda,
at it like try to help himself. I think he was just curious. Like I think we were all curious, right? Because where we were from, we couldn't tell what he did, right?
No.
So we're trying to figure out what he did. But you know, I just think the best thing to do here is maybe you know, number one, stay away.
Yeah.
Number two, you can go and maybe ask him if he needs help getting his gear off the line or whatever. You know what I mean? Just help. Don't ask. You know, what did you do there? Because you know they're trying to figure out what they just did.
and you look at Ken. You know, Ken sitting there. You know, Ken's been in that position. We've all been in that position. And you know, Ken got congratulated Tim on a good match. And you know, Ken's doing his business. Tim's going to do his business, like you said. Give the guys a couple minutes.
They're gathering their stuff. Tim's trying to gather his stuff and his thoughts, because I know Tim right now. He has no idea what just happened. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure he feels horrendously bad. But you know, that's just how it is. And there's the dryer sheet he just found.
He's like, "Oh,
here it is." I don't know. Maybe he meant to not put it under there, but I don't know, John. What do you think? That to me, that was a very good match. I mean, these guys, but I just wish it hadn't ended the way it did. You know.
You know, it's I mean, look, I think we've all been in a position where we've lost shots out the top or bottom, and it's a tough way to lose, right? Because let's face it, he made perfect win calls. I mean, those were all V-line win calls, and to lose them out the top or the bottom, especially on, you know, ping pong and threes, like that just beats at you. You know, like I think we all agree we have no problem losing when it's this way.
No problem.
But when you
a little bit
way,
of a problem.
it's a lot easier to lose this way. Hey, I
Yeah.
made a bad wind call. I missed a switch. Mirage was doing this, whatever. I missed it. But man, when you lose because of this, that's what gets in here. That's
Yeah.
where you see shooters start doubting themselves. And I hate saying this because you're the king of tuners, but this is where I see guys make the biggest mistake with their tuners is they start going out there and, oh, I shot one high shot. Oh, I got to turn it. Oh, I shot a low shot. I got to turn it back. Like, if you saw Tim didn't resort to that. He's got a tuner on there. He did the right thing by not reacting from the tuner. But to me, that's where, he made the best call he could. He dialed up. He thought that would save him. Like you said, he didn't really have much choice. But the vertical messes with your mind, especially when it comes out of nowhere.
Drastically. I haven't talked to Tim, but to be honest with you, I don't want to bring it up. That's just one of those things. And but anyway, it happened, and that's part of it. And like I said, Tim came in as a number 1 seed, so he is obviously a top level competitor. So whatever, it happened. So that's what can happen, right? Now, what was it? I don't know what did it. Was it the bag sticking to the stock? Was it what was it? Who knows, right? He didn't have that sheet that one time, so I don't know. I don't know if again, I don't know, man. I don't know what did it.
And like you said, we're dealing with such minor differences that just the littlest bit on your buttstock, can be that at 1,000 yards. It's about repetitious, consistency. Everything you're doing, and you've called me out on it. Like, we're all guilty of doing it at some point, and you get caught on it, and it hurts.
Yeah. So the best thing you can do is next time you go shooting, record yourself and then examine the video afterwards, because you get to see so much. But anyway, all right, John, man, I appreciate you commentating on this video with me. This has been fun, and like I said, these guys. So Ken moves on, and Tim is out. Unfortunately.
Yeah. And last thing I'll say is this match was not a one-off. Like literally every match was like this. It was, bang, 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 bang. It came down to the littlest details on so many of these matches that it was a nail biter all the way through.
Sure was. So anyway, guys, if you guys enjoy this content, subscribe and give us a like. We're going to bring you a lot more. Well, I don't know how many more, but we have a lot. Okay, I keep saying a lot. I have a few more matches like this that I'm going to bring you, me and John, and we're going to do the commentary on these matches. And they are, trust me, there's a lot of nail biters. And of course, then we're going to bring you also the finale. But anyway, when does the season start? It already started, right, John? For the
season already started. So March 1st was the beginning of the season. We're already deep into some points. The great thing is if you're in an area that does any kind of F-class match, talk to your match directors, tell them what the format is, tell them that you need 85 rounds for record, and get 5 guys on the line. And guess what? You don't even have to have a ranked shooter. You get points. You get some ranked shooters there, the points increase. So all you got to do is get to 85 points, 85 record rounds for the match, and you're golden. There's a couple other little qualifiers, but really that's the one that a lot of match directors are dealing with. And I've seen, California, Washington, Oregon. I've seen matches all over the place. Texas over by you, Oklahoma, Arkansas. Like a lot of these match directors are saying, look, I get it. This drives attendance. This gets people shooting. All I need to do is add an extra 20 round string, and now it's a qualifier for points. And that's really, that's all it takes. So get out there and shoot, and you might find yourself getting invited next year.
Yep. If you need more info, it's all in the description below. All right. That's all I have. Thank you, John. We'll see you, man.
Thanks, Eric.